The scrap heap on Dual Station smelled like burned copper and old regret. Eli didn't mind. He'd been sleeping 2 decks below it for 3 weeks, and a man gets used to the perfume of desperation fast enough when it's the only cologne available. He picked his way through the outer layer, busted thruster housings, cracked hull panels, the sad skeleton of a Type 4 cargo drone that had clearly lost an argument with a docking bay, toward the middle sections, where the Real finds lived. He wasn't looking for anything specific. That was the trick with scrap. You went in looking for something specific, and you left disappointed. You went in looking for anything, and sometimes the universe dropped a gift in your lap. Today, the universe dropped something extraordinary. It was half buried under a collapsed sensor array, obsidian black plating, articulated at the joints with a fluid engineering that didn't match any manufacturer's catalog Eli had ever studied. The chest piece alone was wider than his torso. Shoulder guards swept upward like bird wings mid-strike. The helmet lay 2 meters off, visor cracked but otherwise intact, and on the left pauldron, scratched but legible, was a sigil Eli recognized from 3 separate Galactic incident reports he'd read during his time as a junior analyst for the Colonial Survey Bureau. The Iron Wraith. He stood very still for a moment. The Iron Wraith was not a person. It was a reputation, the kind that got whispered in cargo holds and scrawled as warnings on station walls in 17 languages. A mercenary of indeterminate species, unknown origin, with a verified kill list that included 2 planetary governors, a crime syndicate's entire upper council, and, famously, a warship that had simply stopped operating after the Wraith boarded it alone and walked off via escape pod 40 minutes later. The armor was here, on a scrap heap, which meant either the Wraith was dead, or, "Put it back," said a voice behind him. "Or you're next." Eli turned slowly, hands open, palms visible. He'd learned that trick early, and it had saved his life twice. She was leaning against a collapsed bulkhead 3 meters back, arms folded, watching him with the patient attention of someone who had already decided how this ended and was simply waiting for him to catch up. Medium height, dark jacket, collar up, a scar that ran from the left corner of her mouth to the edge of her jaw, silver white with age. Short hair, the color of iron filings. Eyes, pale and precise, like calibrated instruments. No weapon visible. That, Eli understood immediately, was the most dangerous thing about her. "You're not dead," he said. A pause. One eyebrow moved perhaps 2 millimeters. Observant. The Wraith's armor is on a scrap heap. He kept his voice level, academically curious. The tone he used when he needed someone not to shoot him while he talked. That implies a narrative. Either you're retired, running, or setting a trap. "For seconds," she said. "Most people just beg. Begging's inefficient. You've already decided whether to kill me. Me begging doesn't change the variable, it just adds noise." He glanced at the armor, then back at her. Retired. She studied him the way a mechanic studies a machine that is behaving unexpectedly. "Put the armor down." "I didn't pick it up." Another pause, fractionally longer. "What are you doing on Dual Station?" "Surviving," Eli said. "Same as everyone on Dual Station. Ship's impounded. Broker I was working for turned out to be consortium adjacent, so I'm on the wrong side of a debt marker I didn't sign. I've been living off vending machine credits and the goodwill of a Chell trader named Bricks for 3 weeks. He paused. "What are you doing on Dual Station?" "I asked first." "I answered first. That puts you a response behind." She unfolded her arms. He noted that her right hand dropped to her side, not to a weapon, just loose, ready, and she walked toward him with the unhurried confidence of something that has never once needed to hurry because things have always resolved before hurry became necessary. She stopped 2 meters away and looked at him with something that had shifted from threat assessment to something harder to categorize. "You're not afraid of me," she said. "I'm absolutely afraid of you," Eli said. "I've read 6 incident reports that have your sigil in the header. I know exactly what you are. But fear's a background process. I've learned to run other things in parallel." He met her eyes. "You still haven't told me what you're doing here." Her jaw shifted slightly. "Hiding." Eli blinked. Of all the answers available in the universe, that one had not made the short list. "From what?" "Covenant Syndicate." She said it flatly, the way people say the names of storms. "I took a contract 18 months ago. Target turned out to be Syndicate protected. I completed it anyway." "Oh, they have 17 active hunters on my trail." I dumped the armor because it's recognizable. I've been on dual for 11 days. A muscle moved in her jaw. My name is Nora. Eli, he said. Colonial Survey Bureau, formerly. Currently. Unemployed, broke, and apparently sharing a station with the most wanted mercenary in the outer sectors. Formerly, she repeated. Survey Bureau analysts don't usually know how to stand like that. Like what? Like someone who's been hit before and learned where to put their feet afterward. Eli said nothing. There was a silence that had weight to it, the kind that forms when two people are rapidly recalculating each other and neither wants to be the first to show their math. The consortium debt, Nora said finally. How much? 4,200 station credits and a cargo manifest signature that technically makes me liable for goods I never saw. That's solvable. Not on my current budget. On mine. She looked at him steadily. I need a cover. The syndicate hunters are looking for a lone operative. They are not looking for. She seemed to search for the word with mild distaste. A couple. Station dwelling. Unremarkable. Eli absorbed this. You want to use me as camouflage. In exchange for clearing your debt and getting your ship out of impound. Her voice was transactional. Clean. The voice of someone who had long ago removed every unnecessary thing from how they communicated. You would need to be convincing. You would need to follow instructions without hesitation. And you would need to not be stupid. And if syndicate hunters find us anyway, then you'll see why they haven't caught me yet. Eli looked at the armor lying half buried in the scrap. He thought about the 6 incident reports. He thought about the 4,200 credits he didn't have and the ship he couldn't fly and the 3 weeks he'd spent eating Nutriblock bars in a maintenance corridor. Then he thought about something else, a smaller thing, a detail. She had told him her name. The Wraith, in 6 incident reports across 11 years of documented operation, had never once given anyone a name. It appeared in no file, no station record, no deposition. She had given it to him in the first 3 minutes. That meant something. He wasn't certain what yet, but Eli had been an analyst long enough to know that data points don't appear without reason. All right, he said. Nora looked at him. That's it. No more questions. Plenty more questions, Eli said. But I'll save them for when we're not standing next to your extremely recognizable abandoned armor in a location anyone could walk into. He nodded toward the station interior. You said you've been here 11 days. You have a bolt hole. A beat. Then, yes. Lead the way. I'll brief you on the consortium debt structure on the walkover. You'll want the details if we're building a cover, and the consortium has 2 information brokers on this station who'll cross-reference any story we use. She stared at him. What? He said. You switched to operational thinking in under 4 seconds. Told you. Fear's a background process. Something moved at the corner of her mouth. Not quite a smile. The scar made it asymmetrical, gave it an edge, but something adjacent to one. The expression of a person who has spent a long time being surprised by nothing and has just been, quietly, surprised. Come on then, Nora said and walked. Eli followed. Behind them, the Iron Wraith's armor lay dark and silent in the scrap, patient as a held breath, waiting for the day its owner decided hiding was finished. That day, Eli would later reflect, had probably started the moment she'd chosen to tell him her name. He just hadn't known it yet. Humanity. We run fear in the background and keep working. Always have. Always will.